Hello YouTube, I'm back with another video. This time I'm going to do a rant. I did say I was going to be posting as many rant or podcast videos due to results of not reaching enough viewers. I'm not going to say the specific numbers, but I'm going to if I wanted only time I'll do a rant unless it's something personal or if I feel like I want to address it and get my point across, which you guys need to hear because it's about the difference between content creators and clout chasers. And if you guys are aware of content creators and clout chasers, there are people who post content to entertain their viewers, but they have boundaries. They don't go around harassing people. They take the time and effort to have fun and do what they do best, which is provide their talent, their skill, because they have a passion for it, whether it may be doing rants or like doing a blog, addressing people who do ignorant stuff. Like, for example, those are the cloud chasers. And I'm just giving you advice who you guys should root for. And it should be content creators who actually serve a purpose on social media, who help provide knowledge, as well as who have the experience in trying to encourage others to do what's best. On the other hand, cloud chasers, their videos, their content, their stick dies down very quick. How I know is because they'll do whatever they can to get quick views, quit their 15 minutes of fame by going around harassing people, and they consider these pranks. A prime example would be breaking into people's houses, like trespassing, vandalizing convenience stores, putting their hands on people, um, pretending to be or being vulgar, inappropriate, being a nuisance. The guy in front of you isn't any of those. He's actually a content creator, and I'm gonna get back to him later and the other content creators that I'm talking about. But I'm just showing you prime examples. A prime example of a cloud chaser would be someone like Johnny Somali. He did recently get arrested in Japan, and he was the biggest nuisance out there, most annoying guy. And karma caught up to him quick because he was known as the most hated guy in Japan. I did do a reaction video towards him. I didn't react to the recent um, incidents. He is the reason he's facing 3 years because he was going around harassing people in Japan, trespassing at a motel, whatever. And then he incriminated himself by videotaping the incident as well as his friend assisting him. The people who associate, who videotape the culprit should be charged well because they're pretty much helping instigate the situation. And one thing I want to mention about crouchers, one thing I did forget to say is that they do incriminate themselves a lot most of the time. They film themselves again harassing people, vandalizing product, touching people, tampering a product, being inappropriate, saying disturbing like comments like in person, trying to flirt with other people's fiancés, whether it might be their boyfriend or girlfriend. And I think the problem is they're living in the internet world. They're not thinking about real life. That's how delusional these people are. And to them, all that matters is the views. That's not really a good excuse because if that's the main purpose, and if views weren't that important, then they wouldn't think of doing it. But the thing is, they're not thinking about they think there are no repercussions or consequences for their actions. Is also the problem too. When you have those two things, when you realize uh, views aren't important, and you realize there are consequences to those actions, yeah, there are people who are smart enough to avoid that. Johnny Somali is a prime example. I want to show another person, almost almost as bad, but probably a lot worse. and more annoying in terms of like prank videos. Because even though Johnny Somali live streams and stuff, like the way he does his shtick is different, very different from Mizzy's. But Mizzy is also like a very infamous prankster. He's not. He has no power though. Whether he has a lot of fans is fine. So how's how you guys look at it. But he's a nobody, just like Johnny Somali. He is a prime example of an ignorant prankster. And I guarantee the OG pranksters, if they were to see the type of videos he makes, the kind of pranks he's doing, they're gonna shake their heads and be disappointed. I don't know whether I can't say whether he's influenced by the OGs, but this is a whole new level of stupidity. So like you see in the picture, he's going around trespassing, breaking into people's house, and then here he records himself getting chased by the dog. Who knows if the dog bit him? I can't suggest worst. So, but who knows? Maybe they didn't catch on him. Maybe the dog just decided to bite him, or they managed to get away. Who knows? Speaking of a dog, he did kidnap, abduct a dog from an old lady, and he was running off. Whether he gave it back, that you still traumatized that woman. Either way. And then he was on a popular live show with a TV host. And you'll notice with these pranksters, with these clout chasers, they come off as very narcissistic. They'll try to be in denial. They try to be smart with you. They'll come up with these stupid statements. They have no way of the things that they say. I don't think there is. They have no way of justifying their actions. It's just they don't care. They let people know they don't care. But the only way they can care if their life is at risk. No, not not to say that nothing that they nothing bad should happen, but whether something were to be bad, you might as well stop what you're doing. So because if you the moment you continue because they feel like since nothing as bad has happened or they got away with it or they got a slap on the wrist is why they continue doing the ignorant shit. So but going in people's rent, that's what he's known for. Trespassing. I guarantee you, screaming, being a nuisance. Like, I would say he's more known for trespassing. And this kid does not realize, well, I wouldn't really, he's not a kid though, but considering his age, but he's lucky no one has actually pulled a gun on him or has used self-defense. Because I'm pretty sure it is 100% legal to to take down someone who's trespassing in your property. And I want to go back to Johnny Somali because I want to mention the conviction rate. It's actually a 98% chance, so chances are he's most likely going to jail. It is not 100% confirmed, but 98%. But these guys are already got karma. I don't know if Mizzy's still doing pranks. Um, Chances are he may still continue, but I feel if his content is dying down, people don't. Once people start not caring about what he posts anymore, once his views start dropping, then I feel like there's no point. Then he's because I'm thinking Chen that they're probably fans of theirs donating money, and I suggest you guys don't because what you're doing is basically enabling their bad behavior. You're enabling their egos, and it just makes them more stuck up than ever because it is donating money to someone does not change for the better of society. It does not make them better people. It does not make them improve. It does not help them improve as adults. They use that to take advantage of you guys and just have something to appreciate. And although they look at it as part of your gratitude, they're they want to they're not doing anything to give you really real any real gratitude in return. Because yeah, they're risking their lives doing these videos where they're going out breaking the law, where police has where oftentimes maybe the police hasn't confronted them yet, or they haven't got any severe charges. But overall, you don't get anything in return. That's all I have to say. What do they have to offer but videos that are senseless? But just my advice for the people donating, or whether you're buying any of their products, whatever they're selling, they have nothing to show for it. To me, they can never compare to real content creators who actually take the time and who are serious about their work, who go through the steps and proper measures to become someone who they are and make a name for themselves. Especially when you stoop to that level, being a prankster, because pranks is not what like they used to be. Because when pranks back then, like when people did pranks, you would create a scenario. You would fake a scenario where it's like you'd make people believe that's what's happening. For an example, you pretending to beat up a baby in a cart when reality it's a doll, while you use a audio clip to make it sound like a toddler crying, or you using makeup to make it seem like you beat up your girlfriend or your family member, and then you realize, oh, it's just makeup, it's not really a bruise. Or stand-up comedians who just talk and play a character. Those are three prime examples of the best way to prank someone without harming anybody. So, now I want to go into the content creators. These people are three examples of good content creators from my knowledge, from what I've seen, and I want to give some detail as to why. And they may not be the best in my opinion, or to those, but I want to start off with Chisel Adonis. He's a really funny dude. He actually has talent besides just being sarcastic. I'm pretty sure he does pretty much all the videos on his own. Whether he does get help, I can't assume. But based on my judgment and from my perspective, from what I've seen, he seems like a very passionate guy with what he's doing. Like, he does rants, he calls out ignorant people, he makes fun of them by being sarcastic. Like I mentioned, he'll put on a skit, he'll use clips from different videos, whether it be from shows or anime or whatever, to like reference the situation. But in this picture right here, you can tell this is when you don't want to get him in a bad mood, because he has two different sides. He has a good side and he has a angry side. I wouldn't say he's a bad side. He's not a bad man, but it's best to believe, like, if someone is stooping really low and they are basically a problem society, yeah, he has no problem going in on those people without any sarcasm. He'll put the heat on them. He'll go in on them, and then he is not willing to go easy on them. I can assure you that. So best believe you obviously want to be on his good side. So your safe bet, yeah, he's not going to chop you up with this speed sword style, but legit dude though. I'll give him that. But I respect like when he's being real, because the moment someone is stooping really low, whatever their action may be, he has no problem calling it out and showing his angry side. And it's to make people think otherwise. That's the whole purpose. That he means business. He's not joking. And for the other creators, I want to go to Munching Orange. He's grown when like I've known him like back in high school. I'm not saying in person, but from his videos, he's grown a lot and still growing till this day, and is making awesome content with Pokemon. The reason being is that obviously he's got a life these days, but what makes his videos very interesting? He's very innovative. He's very unique with how he like styles his Pokemon trainer. He chooses Pokemon that he feels comfortable with. So what I mean, like Pokemon that he feels comfortable with, that synergize not only with him but the trainer. And Pokemon that are very like that have great diversity, that blend in well with the trainer, that work based on his decisions and the Pokemon moves. And he doesn't heavily rely on legendaries. He usually makes a legit team where it's very unique. Even if it may not be, of course, you need powerful Pokemon, but he chooses Pokemon again that suit his playstyle and suit the appeal of the trainer. And what I mean the appeal, like that match well with the character that he's creating as well as playing as. Because back then in Pokemon you could not really design the character, but the more Pokemon improved, the more you could change your character. And he's been doing it consistently, playing legit almost every single gen. I'm pretty sure every gen now, probably till this day is. And he is helping demonstrate newcomers and old Pokemon fans how fun the game can be whenever he plays it. And there are other Pokemon like Pokemon YouTubers, but in my opinion, he's the best one. And speaking of YouTubers, we're going to be talking about Team APS. I have given them a lot of support by watching their videos, and usually Paul is the main guy of the group, but they work well as a YouTube channel. How I know? Because though they work together, they point out the flaws, and they'll sometimes say as much as they want to talk about the positive, they bring up the flaws involving Yu-Gi-Oh and Konami and the decisions Konami is making towards the game, and that there needs to be some adjustments to avoid cancerous duels, cancerous players, and that people can enjoy the game and that it can bring more consumers. And they're not only are they known for talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, but they're known for doing skits. They are associated with the Tolerian Community College teacher, who happens to be an advocate of Magic Gathering. So they do have a lot of Magic the Gathering supporters coming from his side to help get into Yu-Gi-Oh as well. But I feel like they built a huge community together. They know how to talk with their viewers. They use a lot of reasoning. Um, there's never been a time where they had an issue with each other. They seem very close. Like there's never a time where they can have disagreements, but there's never a time where they fought. Or they always look out for each other, and they look each other as best friends, like family, you could say. The guys I'm familiar with are Larry in the hole. You got Trell, and the other group members, the crew members. And as you could tell, they got the silver YouTube play button after reaching 100,000 subscribers. But one thing I can say is that I feel like there's some things they're hiding about Konami's activities, because I did call them out because I'm not a YouTuber, which I don't care if I don't become one, but there are some things they don't want to address. That's one that I want to say, because it will take them off, because they're being sponsored by Konami, and they will be taken off of Konami's like radar. I mean, off of their advertising, because they help advertise new sealed products. So Konami will send them either a sealed box to help open it, to help advertise it and show it to their viewers. And whether it may be free, because I'm not in this situation, whether it may be free, but they do suggest players, especially if we want to play competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, to avoid sealed and just buy the singles, which I 100% agree. And I'm glad they brought up, considering they are very considerate about that. They're not trying to cover up Konami too hard, and they're willing to bring the most important part of Yu-Gi-Oh and be honest. What is important is like being careful how you spend your money, don't get addicted, and do what's best so you could continue enjoying the game, and gives you a reason not to retire, so that you don't entirely have to rely on meta. They even mentioned in recent videos, they're not really meta contenders, but you can always enjoy the game without playing meta, but build a deck that you think is worth it and diverse, and that's how you enjoy the most of it. And going back to pranks, I want to talk about What's With Andy, because this goes back to the Clout Chasers. Yeah, What's With Andy, he was trying to get people's attention, but I don't think he would stick as far as these people. Yeah, he would. The thing is, like I said, he would create a scenario, he would fool people, but when you watch the show, for those who were born in the 90s who had their childhood relieved, who go back watching Teletoon. The pranks he does not compare to the modern pranksters. How I know? Because he's not willing to put severe harm. He usually does like a whoopee cushion. He plays a character. He sets up a scenario where other people are blamed, or they blame one another, or someone gets accused. But then the thing is that, like, the funny thing is that even though it's a flaw too, it could put him at risk. Is that the people that he's pranking, they're supposed to figure it out themselves. That's the whole point. But he doesn't go around touching people, saying stupid stuff. He's not trying to. He can be a nuisance, but he doesn't go as far as putting people's lives at risk. He it can make, of course, he creates a lot of confusion, gets people mixed up, but he lets them know at the end of the day that's a prank, that no one was harmed, and he's very dedicated. He makes you understand what being a prankster is about. But the thing is, it's a show. Whether he had a bad influence to the young audience, the viewers, he knew not to step out of line. Even though there are times where the people that he pranked stepped out of line, they would come after him with a mob, chase him, and he's running almost every single end of the episode. But it was funny how he pranked them. It was funny how butthurt they were, how ridiculed they felt. It's the reason why they're chasing, not because he harassed them. He made them look like fools, and that's what a prank is supposed to be. You're supposed to fool people. That's what I see in a prank. It's supposed to be a scenario that you create where you can trick people, not get them, put them at risk, but trick them into believing that the scenario is real. But in reality, it's a joke, and that he is willing to confess to it at the end of the day. But either way, you guys, that's all I have to say. Hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to check for more upcoming content in the future. Be sure to check your notifications, comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.